board member up here, we're very grateful for all the volunteers that have stepped forward and helped, and will help more in the future, because this is just a start. We have a long way to go, and it's not gonna all be turned around overnight. So we're just gonna keep working at it and keep going, and we can't give up, we have to keep going, and that's
It
our.
might take us a little longer because
Right, but we
and it
will.
wasn't like any of us were left with any of the information that,
Right,
No, we were left with empty file cabinets. There's nothing here for us to look at. So we're building files. We're trying to obtain files. And
Linda, excuse me, while I'm thinking about it, in relation to those empty file cabinets, quote unquote, again, I received a call at home this morning concerning that status. And boxes of shredded files that were found in this township, and that being a criminal act. And I was encouraged this morning, as a board member, to pursue that avenue. To make a determination among us as to whether or not what was shredded were official documents owned by this township, and criminal action being taken against those who did it.
and I think that the insurance thing that we just sat through hit hard because we just discovered that there were board members last year getting covered with AFLAC and temporary disability insurance. I mean, board members had temporary disability insurance for this township, but we're struggling to get E&O as public officials. But, like I said,
And
let's,
my one last little statement, don't stop volunteering, please.
yeah,
Everybody that can, come forward, do what you can to help with what we're doing in the township. Yes, Alan?
Can I ask a question? You're talking about files being, but that, for anybody who don't know me, I'm the road foreman. What about my personal file, or the other two workers? What
so
they say?
we have
I mean, the way you're
copies.
talking about these idiots, I wanna know if my personal file in this place that has been here for 40-some years
To
is
be-
still in place.
To be honest, we were told by the former staff that there are copies of your personnel files here. I have not looked in that file cabinet, nor has any other board members, because only a bonded treasurer can. So, but we have done a request for Sweat Law Firm to give what,
Apparently he has.
apparently he has the original.
Okay, if he hasn't, let's not say that he can say, here, put these in the copy machine, let's give them here, here, and here, and here.
Did you say
Correct.
Sweat
I mean,
has?
you might say.
Yes.
Said
Yes.
Sweat has the copies?
He
Yeah.
has the
He has
originals,
the
is what we were
originals.
Oh, you
told.
still have the original?
Where?
So there's copies of it.
Where
In
are
his
His
they?
office.
office.
has the.
Is that allowed?
No.
You're darn right.
We wouldn't be keeping, we represent plenty of municipalities and authorities. We don't keep any personnel files at our office.
Then there must be a reason when, I can't remember exactly when, I asked, okay, after my grievances were finished for me, that I wanna see, because they were promised to take that stuff out of my personal files, the grievance stuff. And we'll get to it, Then the subject dropped and me, I forgot, I let it go, but I didn't let it go, just to let it go. But I never did get a chance to see, because I'm allowed to see my own personal file, correct?
Yes.
Someone else's, just mine.
Correct.
So if there's anything in or even a copy, I'd like to, for some reason, I mean, you guys are busy, I don't need to do it right now.
Well, the only person that you can go in there with you would be the bonded treasurer, like it's a thing,
That
so.
I heard.
We can make arrangements with Judy Taylor or, and you, but none of us really can go in there, even though they're copies.
Okay,
Yeah,
Well,
it
that's
wouldn't be
okay.
appropriate for us.
But we
to
are
go in
tracking
there.
down the originals. We've already sent a request to Mr. Sweat's law office to turn those over to our office so we can get them back where they belong, but slow going.
Talking
Yeah, I
about,
agree with-
talking about Sweat. What about the checking account that he has?
Client trust account
The client trust.
information.
we're dealing with that as well.
That is-
It's all of it at the same time.
That is really illegal.
Yes, and that's what we're
We're
addressing.
looking into the legality of it.
Correct. It's just there's so many. We're trying to get personnel files. We're trying to get access to that. We're trying
And
to figure.
we're trying to keep everything moving as smoothly as possible moving forward, so every time we have a free minute, we look back, but at the same time, we have to keep going forward just to keep the town moving.
Right.
So yeah, just please be patient with us. There's so much, and every day, it's like something else falls out of the sky that we have no idea.
And somebody who's in the middle of a project wants to know where they're at, or we can't go look in a file and get it for, we're unfamiliar with the project, we're unfamiliar, and there's nothing here to look at. We're building, the volunteers are building master files for, you know, the Scarmazy Homes, the Tractor Supply,
Finley
the
Alrama.
Finleyville Alrama. I mean, we're sitting down with Peters Creek Sanitary, they've been given no more information about Alrama Road than we were.
Mhm.
They don't have the
They don't even
DEP
have
permits,
plans.
they don't have the plans. So we don't have the plans of the Finleyville Alrama storage extension, and they don't have the plans of the Finley. So we go in to talk about Finleyville Alrama Road, and neither one of us have the plans.
And to make it worse, the DEP has just sent us a letter telling us we were supposed to be
We're out of compliance.
updating them with what's going on with the project. I got the letter, today is November 22nd,
Mhm.
and we were supposed to inform them on the 18th. That's just it. That's
Every time I walk in
everything
this
that we're
building,
running into.
Albert had a thing with the spill container at the gas tank today, because they were supposed to handle something with that. And so the DEP's on about that, but like,
Yep.
this is all stuff, every time I walk in this building, it's like, okay, well, the DEP's here, because, you know, it's stuff that they should have been somebody was well aware of. You know, we're just walking in with none of the, and I don't even know where to find the file about the spill container, what, any work that was done on it. I don't know. You beg for forgiveness and ask for extension.
As an auditor, I promise this township that we will pursue anything and everything legally that we can against the supervisors, against the solicitor, against anyone else that has legally wronged this township.
Well, Lori, I don't think you were here during the, discussion we had with the new insurance broker.
No, I couldn't make it, couldn't get there.
We talked about the changes in cost for the premiums and for the deductibles. Some of them were sizable. And Michael, Mr. Makel's office are going to research and look into the possibility of surcharge action because of all the legal activity in the past and what it's cost. The insurance providers to pay out, as Michelle and Linda said, approaching $500,000. We, as a township, were 150% over the threshold that the insurance industry uses in its ratio to evaluate their losses,
They paid out
Which-
150% more than they took in for 5 years.
to determine premium cost, deductible cost. And if because of misfeasance, malfeasance, nonfeasance in office, and what actions, legal actions were pursued with no rational basis, there's a good possibility for surcharge action there. I know you were making notes the other night, you can add that to your notes.
And don't expect that to happen overnight, because our main focus is running the daily operations of this community, but once we get that totally in more of a easier manner, then we'll look back. Right now, our main focus, so, Yeah, is to move forward.
Another thing that we had came from the redevelopment authority, that they wanted an answer back on the project and that we were due to get money, around $65,000 for a project. And I contacted Kerry Fox, the redevelopment authority, and I, due to the circumstances, they want an answer by the 22nd or 20th of November of what the project was gonna be done, and we didn't know about it, but I just happened to run across a piece of literature that had it, and I called him, and he said due to the circumstances, they would delay us for a year so we wouldn't lose the money. So that way we won't lose the $65,000 on the redevelopment authority. So, but that's it, they do that every 3 years, and this was the cycle to come up, and nobody responded to it at all.
Not to take up any more of their time, I
Right.
guess we give them an opportunity to speak. Do you have any public